Good morning. We have another rewatch today. Um, should be a good time. The matchups were this is a 3v3. We have on the left side we have Barzee as the Spanish. I don't know why he has a trade setter that far up, but it's gonna create nightmares for you, buddy. We're mostly trading down here in the middle. And Jake was very excited about this. Jake, as the Rootin' Tootins, was the pocket. To quote Jake, "I'm never the pocket." And then on the right, we have me as the Slavs. This is a nightmare. Tanner, what on earth? And I never looked at this all game. This could have been a real problem. We were looking at setting up right here to cut up the middle. We have on the other side, we have Joel as the Bohemians. He is quite the Bohemian. A regular bard, if you will. A sitar player. In the center, we have Thaddeus Young as the token Espanith. And matched up against me was Young Miguel as the Berbers. Michael had just absolutely killed all of my libido, my whatchamacallit, morale was super low going into this game. Michael, Jono, and Taylor had just beaten us in a 1v1, not in a 3v3, and it did not last long. Essentially, Michael was on this side, I was on this side, and Michael just punched me in the balls over and over again, and I had no answer for him. And it really broke my heart. This game was a very close fought game and very entertaining. So we're gonna see what happens. Treaty's almost up. We're gonna start over here. I don't know really what happens over here. Haven't paid enough attention to it. We're gonna have our military stuff go. Okay, so Jake started cutting, sending my boyars. Jake and Keen with that siege onager, and we are in. And Taylor's like, oh, yep, they're in. And so I'm gonna try and plunge in. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's a hole there. Taylor was not happy about it, I'm sure. So we get in right there, and my dudes die. But, you know, they gave Taylor a good scare. On the other side, we are going, and just where Jake's trying to just open things up a little bit. Taylor's trying to save, and Barzee shows up. Got Joel with the super cannons, the Hofnice. And I'm playing as blue mostly to support our loss of Lars. We're missing him this game. And so I'm getting back into Taylor. He's not going to be happy about it. And Barzee's just going nuts. Looks like we pretty much own the middle. On the other side, Michael has cut, which this is where I'm going to be for the rest of the game. We see that Michael's trying to cut down the edge, and we're like, get this open. Do not let him just waltz down the edge. My goodness, Michael, you monster. Probably should just preemptively just cut over. So Michael's going nuts. In the middle, Jake has put up the bombard towers, and Joel is just setting up. We see that Barzee's going 1v1 with Taylor. Taylor is good at at being everywhere. I don't know that Taylor's great at 1v1s. That seems to be one of his weak points, is when he's forced to a 1v1. On the other side, we see that Michael has destroyed one castle, and I've walled over. Barzee's over here helping out. Looks like we're holding as best we can. In the middle, Jake is going bonkers with the siege. Meanwhile, Michael is built forward with a castle, and we're just fighting. I don't know why Michael loves these elite camel archers. I don't know when I would use them. Like I don't, what are they good against? The archery units aren't good against cavalry, and cavalry units are good against archery, and so I don't know when I would use that unit. On the other side, we see that Barzee and Jake have moved forward and in. There's just a mountain of pressure on Joel right now, and Taylor. Joel and Taylor, I should say. On the other side, Taylor has come to help out Michael, and it seems that we've stopped him. Michael's trying to do that darn microing of his things, so. And we see Joel over here. We've got Barzee with the trebs, Taylor defending, and Jake has created a death corridor. And Taylor's trying his best with the trebs. Yeah, he got it. On the other side, Taylor's helping Michael. I was able to kind of own this zone. I could never get back into these ones for extended amounts of time. On the other side, Barzee's now putting holes in the wall. Does he go? He put a hole in. Let's see. There he goes. And Barzee, he was very happy about it. He's like, I don't think they can see my hole. And I don't know that Taylor did see the hole. Oh, no, Taylor saw the hole. But Barzee got into Taylor. On the other side, we're holding here. Over in the middle, Jake's doing well. But Barzee keeps getting in. Yeah, and is just causing havoc to the other team. On the other side, yeah, we're just pushing back and forth. Barzee has now opened up things. Here in the middle is just wide open. You could get villagers up to here and put castles in. And Joel is just trying. He's holding desperately. He's doing a great job. But Barzee's micro is next level when he's able to do it. Okay, so that castle falls. And there we go. Meanwhile, Jake McKean has kind of pushed Joel into remission because all of his stuff is coming from a mile away. And they just own that middle. They'd need to put stuff back in here at this point. Barzee puts another hole in and puts another group of troops in, which is exactly what he wants. On the other side, these castles are holding. I did get some dudes back in here that just kind of like eat this back section. I think that Michael was only building from 2 siege workshops, which is crazy to think because he had like he's had to be constantly going. But Barzee's now just all over their bases. He's starting to do. Barzee does an advanced chase attack with the paladins. It's always dangerous. Meanwhile, did Taylor wall off again? Taylor has walled off again. No, I don't know that he has. Maybe. I think there's a hole there still. Meanwhile, Joel is cut over here. And to quote Barzee, "What comes in must come out." So he goes crazy over here and just is gonna own this corner. This is definitely a Hail Mary on Joel's part. I'm sorry I missed the cut, Joel. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're holding. But there it goes. When we look at scores, Barzee was just an MVP that game. 46. Me, Jake, and all 3 of us had really high military scores. What's weird about this is we lost the game before to a team that was lower ranked as far as our numbers go. So, you know, the numbers aren't a perfect system. And I think that also what I was looking at was, well, you know what, we're gonna lump up the next one. One second, I'm gonna pause it. We're gonna do the rewatch of the next one. That way we have both games. Hey guys, so I think actually the tree's up. I was distracted, but we can see. So this game is me as the Slavs, Barzee as the Spanish, and Jake as the Koreans. On the other side, we've got Jono as the Spanish. We have Taylor as the Hindustanis, and we have Ugly Jr. as the Italians. And so this matchup's going to be interesting to watch. Barzee's going to be all over the place. Going into this game, we were very excited because we were like, we own so much more of the map. But I think it actually spread us thin because we were too spread thin. You know, it was too much real estate a little bit. Possibly, I'm not really sure. But let's look at what's going to happen here. So I'm going to cut along the side. Up the middle, Barzee's ready. On the other side, Jake's getting going. And we're in. This is like the only time I'm on offense this whole game. And here we go. Michael is like, oh, you did my cut for me. Thank you, man. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jake's gonna go down and around. Ugh, we needed that one more. Oh. And Jake loves these war wagons. I'm not a huge fan of them, although I do know that I see them used by the computers and it's like, holy cow. Meanwhile, here we go. I'm trying to, you know, snipe this a little bit, which kind of works. But Michael is just all over with the bombard cannons, and he's building up, and he does a good job. The Genoese crossbowmen are no freaking joke, man. No freaking joke indeed. On the other side, Taylor and Jono are flexing on Jake, who's just holding for dear life. And we were like, Barzee, you need to be doing something somewhere. So Barzee just cuts up the middle and hits Jono and Taylor up the middle. And Michael just keeps on doing bad things to me. On the other side, we see Jono has built a forward castle. Taylor's here, and they're just kind of owning the side. Jake's doing his best to do that. Yeah, and we see Jono's trying to cut in, and they're like, oh, we gotta build this. So they build a wall in time. Holy cow, way to go, Jake. Meanwhile, Barzee is in the middle and owning. Taylor's just gonna wall that gate off. He would. On the other side, I'm falling. We see Taylor's here, and Michael's just going nuts. I've lost my castle, and it's the beginning of the end over there. On this side, Taylor's here, Jono's here. We see Barzee got in, and he takes out the trade. And I was just like, hit Michael as hard as you can, and looks like he did. I don't know if Michael had clicked the button. That's possible. But on the other side, Michael's trying to build forward castles, and I'm just trying to hold on, but I can't for the life of me get my troop count up. On the other side, they're into Jake now. He's been holding. Barzee's going crazy. We see Jono's getting into the trade and just kind of swooping everywhere. What a monster. We see Barzee's coming to save him. Barzee's kind of saving everyone at this point. Like, Barzee did some damage, and now Barzee's just saving everyone. And Jono's just going nuts. Jono's killing all of my villagers. What a jerk. And he does, he just eats all of my base. And he's all over there. Meanwhile, Michael has overrun my side. Did a really good job of it. I am still very confused on how he did such a good job. Because he just owned me. Barzee comes to save me. Meanwhile, our trade is dead. I'm starting to build out of here. On the other side, Jake seems to have cleaned up. We see that Jake has built a bunch of stuff here. He's just sending trash up to fight Taylor. On the other side here, they've owned this whole section here, and I'm like trying to fight these guys. I'm like, okay, we gotta put some walls in, and Michael gets up and kills my dudes. But we're starting to recover. Barzee starts shooting up the middle again to try and put pressure somewhere, and this time Jake is going back in. We see Jono's there. And I'm having to completely rebuild. You can see I'm down to 6 villagers, or 6 farmers. But I'm doing a full rebuild. Michael has built into my side and is now plunging troops. Oh, it's so frustrating. Jake's coming to save me. Gosh, I sucked this game. I don't have crappy games like this very often, but this game I really just played like garbage. Barzee's just holding in the middle. He's really good at knowing when to push and when to not push. The strength of this. That looks good. Jake cuts this off, kind of creating more of a funnel situation. On the other side, Barzee's just like, wait, and Tanner, rebuild. So I'm trying to rebuild as fast as I can. I'm trying to redo trade. We put some castles back in there. And we're trying to hold. Meanwhile, Barzee starts pushing up the middle. And Taylor's fighting in the middle now. Meanwhile, Jono's hitting Jake. And I just can't get enough wood or gold the whole game. And into the death zone we go. And Barzee's been saving my bacon. I should have cut like over here. Yeah, this is what we should have done. Cut this. But before we even get there, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get me. On the other side, Jono has established a front, and so Jono's now taking out Jake again. Poor Jake. Fighting for his life. And Barzee's been pushed back. And Michael is just owning me. Absolutely owning me. We've got Michael building another couple of castles. And we were just like, we're not winning this game, and we wanted to do a rematch. So my rewatches were actually in backwards order, but we dropped because we were like, we want to play a different game. This one, we're just sucking. And so that was that. Barzee played amazing though. 5 points higher than Michael on scores, for military scores. Barzee played great, but Jake and I, we were sucking nuts. So crazy games when we look at our military scores. Taylor with the low K, yeah, his units killed versus units lost was not indicative of how well he was playing. He was just everywhere. Crazy games. We were sending and trading and sending and trading for everyone. Barzee was trying to carry us. So GG, gentlemen. Until next time, peace.